Chartemis Prime, Chartemis Prime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it. Taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe for more things. Hey, if you ever need company, he's like, yeah, okay, so I'm getting. Hey, what's up, you guys? Chartemis Prime here doing another Marvel Select review on the Marvel Select Modern Thor. This was the only Modern Thor we had for a very, very long time, and I have to say, this is a cool figure. Now, we do have the Marvel Legends Modern Thor that recently came out just a few months ago, and we do have the Marvel Universe Modern Thor, which is pretty cool too. And Jerry Nightmare, thank you. He's the one who talked me into getting that figure. He was like, that's a badass figure. You got to get that one. But this guy is really, really cool. Now, this being the only Modern Thor we had, I mean, I thought he worked out really well for Marvel Legends display. And I'll do a comparison with the Marvel Legends version of him, but I just really, really love the paint apps on this guy and the sculpt. I mean, just seeing how, you know, the clothes look on his torso right here. And this has a really worn kind of look that just really reminds me of the grit that we got from the Toy Biz Marvel Legends. I mean, you can see the paint apps, the black fading in and out right there on the back. Like I said, this area right here with this blue and black kind of mixed together, you could see like the texture of the fabric for his chest is almost like this really rough, canvasy kind of thing. There's the head sculpt right there. I'll do some comparisons with the different head sculpts. I actually got into a little debate with Dwight Stahl from Hasbro over which head sculpt looked more like Copil's artwork. And he said that the Marvel Legends one looked closer. I thought this one did. And I don't know, I'll do a comparison. You can see some wear there. The hair detail on this guy is a little rugged, pretty dark. It may be darker on the sides from me putting it under the cape, but it looks like they did a lot of gray in the paint detailing. Here's Mjolnir, or Mjolnir, like the chick says in the movie, which is really annoying. This looks like it's made out of stone. It's okay. It's actually not my favorite hammer, but, you know, doesn't have any of the writing on the side or anything, but I don't like that it looks like it's made out of stone so much. One little gripe I have about the way he holds Mjolnir is that he sinks. So, like, the hand is sculpted just a little too wide, and you can hold it at the very bottom, but I always like to hold Mjolnir right there. I don't know what the proper way. I know he's not supposed to hold it like this. I used to have him hold it like that, but I think it's supposed to be right there, but he kind of sinks and falls, and I don't know. I kind of pushed it down that time, but you could see. See, just wiggling and it comes down to wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Comparing the two Mjolnirs, I just like the shape of this one on the Marvel Legends one more. And, you know, this is very flat. So I do like this Marvel Legend. You know, overall, I like the Marvel Legends one more. And then the mesh or shingles, you know, for his armor looks really cool. That's just some wear where you can see the black coming through. I thought that came out really well. I really like the brown wash on his belt. Very, 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 very cool. Detailed. Same thing right there, like around his boot. Peg holes. Bottom of his feet. I don't know, I think this is really well done. Now, if you're having a really hard time getting the Marvel Legends Modern Thor, then I say go for this one. It's actually really not bad. He has a really good amount of articulation, you know, especially for a Marvel Select. You always have to say for a Marvel Select because Marvel Selects aren't really that well articulated. But his head does move side to side, and sometimes it gets hindered by the cape. But you could kind of tuck the hair underneath, and the cape kind of lifts up a little bit like that. So you could, you know, you could work with it a little bit. It doesn't really move up and down. Well, he does have a hinge, so it moves up a little bit, moves down a little bit too, moves side to side, like I showed already. He has his joint right here on the side. Now these joints are very stiff. They move forward and out. No bicep swivel. He has a single jointed arm right here, and it rotates at the elbow. Okay, and his wrist moves side to side. Same deal with the other side. This one has more of the open hand kind of thing going on. And then he has a waist joint. His leg joint isn't too bad. Wish there was a, you know, like a ball joint over here and a thigh swivel. Whoop, I see Thor balls! He actually has a small wiener. Okay, that made me sound pretty gay. Anyway, so that's side to side, and then you have to, like, rotate it to move it up and then turn the knee down, so it has that kind of joint going on. And like I just showed, it rotates at the knee and moves in and out. and it can move further depending on which part of the thigh that you move it on. And his foot moves up and down, or his ankle, and that's it. So that's the articulation. Like like I said, Marvel Selects aren't really so hot on their skull or on their articulation, but the sculpt and paint apps are really, really good. Now here's, and then comparing the torso area, one thing that's actually bothered me about this one right here is that this area looks very flat and bland to me, and I really do like the added sculpt right here. It really fills out this area very well. So in that case, I do like the sculpting on this more, but this guy does look a bit bulkier, and I like that too. Now, I do think that the Marvel Legends Martin Thor is better. I do, but this guy is, he is very, very cool. So if you had to pick one, go with this guy. If you're stuck thinking, oh, which one should I get? But, if you're kind of desperate to get a Thor and you don't, want to go on eBay and all that, and you see one at your comic book shop, and you're like, you know what? I'm not a huge Thor fan. I just really need a solid Thor figure for my collection, and go ahead and pick this guy up. And they cost about the same price too. Marvel Selects and Marvel Legends are, well, depending on where you go, are more or less the same price. And he does fit in well with the Marvel Legends. So that's just like a rough group shot I'm kind of putting together right there, but they fit well in scale with each other. So that's one thing I always really liked about this Thor, is usually the Selects are really out of scale, but I think he's dead on. Now to get a little bit of what I'm talking about right here, busted out my Thor number 2. So there's Coppel's artwork right there, and he did this Thor run. This is the second issue of the first appearance of that Thor, and here's how it looks on the figure. So I think the figure actually really looks pretty dead on. I really think it does. This is a very clean, wide-faced kind of look. And then comparing him to the Marvel Legends Thor, I think he has too many wrinkles on his face and makes him look too rugged, which isn't bad for a general Thor, but if you're going for this look, if you want to be specific about it, I don't know, I think this one nails it more so. And then there's the Marvel Universe Thor right here, which, I don't know, I think this resembles a little bit more to the Marvel Select Thor. He has a lot less lines in his face and everything. So I don't know, which one do you guys think is better? MS, ML, MU, MS, ML, MU. MS, ML, MU, MS, ML, MU. Really like the base that the Martin Thor comes with. This is a pretty good sized base. It's very hollow, and he has these, it has these holes, classic, push pin wall mounting. He has 2 pegs sticking up, or it's just the one. I thought he had 2. There's just 1 peg sticking up right there. But I really like the paint detail on it. Looks very, very nice. Very nice shading and variations of colors. So very cool. I dig it. Okay, so that's my review, guys. And no, I never did review this figure before. So hope you guys dig it, and I will catch you later. Peace.
That's crispy.
Oh, that's Shartimus. He is so awesome. But now what should I do on the internets? You go to bkbn.net! Here, let me show you, man!
Big Kids Big News is #1 source for geek news, reviews, toys, comics, movies, cartoons, video games, and more!
Next time you're done watching my videos, where are you going? bkbn.net! Where are you going? bkbn.net!
So if I... Oh.